Alexa, play Slink Proper, Not a Threat.
Here's Not a Threat, by the Slink Proper, featuring Mimic Revenue on Amazon Music.
You not a threat at all. You know I'm still gon' ball. My dog won't let me fall.
Fighters already received your instructions. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. This is the line right here. This is the line right here. Touch your gloves. Let's get it.
See if Sona Akala can take advantage of that. The muscular fighter out of the Twin Cities in Minnesota.
Picture painted, never tainted. I'll explain the scripture. Beauty eye, a beholder. You can't change the filter. Forbidden fruit up in my view. I might just have to
Rapper. And he turned his life around thanks to boxing. He said, I had a life on the streets. And once my son was born, I decided I want to be a different man. And here he is as a professional fighter.
My childhood was good. My childhood, it was crowded. You know, I grew up, you know, we had a lot of people in the house. We had like 14 to 16 people at any given time. You know, because my dad was responsible for housing a lot of Africans that came here. Of course, family members and friends of the family. Our household slowly became like a little Africa up in there, you know, because they're just used to Africa and eating the African foods, wearing African traditional clothing, doing things that we would do in Africa. So my household was an African crowded household. Yeah.
You panic, I swear it gets hot as Miami. It gets hot as my family, my family, my family, my family, my family.
There was a lot of kids. I was the youngest out of everybody, so I always had to fight because I'm fighting, you know, people that are 10, people that are 12, 13, 15 over here, 16 over here. We would have presents like we had my auntie Catherine. I'll never forget this time. She came from Africa, and she comes and she brings everybody CD players. Everybody got these CD players. And then I'm waiting for my CD player. I'm all excited. I'm like, oh, thanks, Auntie Kelly. Oh, Japan, you got one too. You got one too. Oh, you got one too. Oh, I can't wait for mine. And then they bring mine, and it's a little Walkman. It's a Walkman, man. And I was the only person that really was listening to music up in there. Like my first CD I ever bought was DMX, and then there was X. And I had it, and I had the CD that she gave me. I was like, but this is a tape player. I don't have any cassettes. I don't have any places. She's like, no, you don't need a CD. This is good for you. I was like, oh, okay. And then it's like times like that, bro. It just made me feel like I just had to fight a little harder to be seen. I had to fight a little harder to be heard. I had to fight a little harder to be respected. You know what I mean? And ever since then, it's like, you know, it's like, speak up. I used to just be quiet and just let shit happen. It made me who I am.
Bitch, I'm about to eat.
My first experience with the police in general, I was around the neighborhood. I was with a guy named Lucas Majers. He's from around the neighborhood. He's like, oh, let me show you around. Go ride our bikes down here and do something. And he was the only person my age. So boom, we go out, we're riding our bikes, and somebody throws something at my bike. Lucas is like, oh, we can't let that happen. They shouldn't. So he threw something back, and then one of the older kids threw something back, and then they popped my tire. The cops would call some lady from next door, called the cops. And when the cops came, they got me and Lucas. They take us back to my house. I'll never forget it because he saw my dad. I just never seen my dad act like that. They left, and my pops was like, that's the first time I've ever spoke to a police officer in my life. Till this day, I remember the first time being in juvie. Came to visit me in the juvenile detention center. I mean, he was like, the first time I ever talked to a cop was when you were born. And now the first time I remember in a facility like this in the actual jail in America is, you know, to see you here. And I just think it came from, you have to make people feel like they can't rob you. You have to make people feel like, you know, like if they do something to you or try to take something from you, you know, there's troubles and consequences. Because you already know if you that guy that it's easy to take from, that people gonna take from you. You know what I mean? And that's when my trouble started from, you know, just trying to protect the product. You know, just trying to protect. That's all it came from. I don't blame my parents or anything like that because there was a lot of people in the house. Guys, there's a lot of people, and a lot of people doing good things, some doing bad. You know, and it was just wanting to, you know, prove myself, you know what I mean, as somebody, as something.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure you grab the camera, every shit, get ready to run, nigga, because we ain't supposed to be.
Got the EJJ, Extended Juvenile Jurisdiction. I ended up violating that and being certified as an adult anyways. I got in trouble again. I was in the mix, you know. I ended up getting my GED in jail. I was there 8 months. All I did all day was play chess, study, read, and work out. Really, just every day. And then, you know, learned a lot, you know what I mean? Because everybody up in there was way older than me, you know what I mean? I was the youngest in there by far. To be honest with you, these institutions, you would think that they would sit there and they would, you know, develop you into somebody. No, stay away from it. But to be honest with you, you get there and you really get connected, and then you start learning more.
Comprehend, they tell me stop and I just keep on running. We don't hear you. Forrest Gumping.
And I fought off for like 2-3 years, did the school thing, but it was just like, I was just in debt, man. I was like, damn, I'm in debt more. I did all this stuff. I tried to make everybody else happy, everybody else, you know what I mean? Like, oh, Slink, yeah, he got out, he's going to college, doing great things, this and that. But it was just mediocre to me. It was mediocre. Not only was it mediocre, I was in debt. It was just giving me more debt. Bro, so I got out of here and learned all this stuff to make more money, but I ended up losing more money. You know, with all these generals, forget this, man. Then I went straight back to the block, just started calling all my connects from, you know, the jails and stuff like that. And I made it happen at a large level. And I had a whole group. I was doing the music heavy as well. And I was funding the music through the drug gang. I was funding my music, and I was like, okay, this is how the legit happened. So we made a group called Third World. Third World was big. We had annual barbecues every year, you know what I mean, for the whole community, where we fed even homeless people. We were touring colleges, you know, performing in front of thousands of people. And mind you, these guys that I'm pulling with me is just from the blocks, but they African just like me, but they had this similar background, similar upbringing. I mean, you know, wanted to prove something, wanting to, you know, feeling like they got to show that they somebody, you know? And all of these people were together. It was like main members, it was like 30 of us. I was in the studio making the music, you know, but I wanted to bring people that felt like me with me. Music was my way to express myself. Things that I couldn't say, that I was mad about in the law and in my cases. You know what I mean? I was able to say it in my music, you know? That was therapeutic for me. That was therapeutic. There were so many life or death situations that I've been through. Like when I get in the ring, it's like, it makes me a little more comfortable. I just can't change nothing. I just can't tell myself that, because then I wouldn't have gone through the stuff that made me who I am today. I just can't tell myself nothing. I would literally look at myself and be like, oh, you know what, never mind. Because I want you to go through this to know what it's like. So you know what I mean? So you know, because I might not be having the urge to get knowledge on things that I have today. Like when Q talking, I just listen.
One time, we out here, boards. How did I find Slink Proper? Oh my God. That's a fun one. I actually didn't find him. We found each other. There was this guy, his name was Scott. He was a boxing promoter that he used to work with, and he used to bring him in the gym. He would spar with some of the boxers, and he was just rugged. He didn't have nowhere to go as far as work out on a regular basis. We were like, hey man, you need somewhere to work out, you can work out here, it's no big deal. So he would come work out, you know what I mean? And I would see him in the ring, and I would just give him pointers. Because here's the funny part. I was still learning how to box myself. You know what I mean? I was still in the gym working out, still am, but I was still in the gym working out. So I would just give him pointers and work out. And I think that went on for some months. Then all of a sudden he just walked up to me and was like, Q, man, I want you to train me and be my manager. I'm like, what? I'm like, really? Now keep in mind, everybody knows me from basketball. You know what I mean? I'm that guy when it comes to basketball training. You know what I mean? I'm just getting into boxing. So my coach, Dalton Outlaw, actually went to him and asked for his blessing and was like, Coach, you really think I should do this? Because, you know, he's like, and he straight up told me, he said, and I'll never forget the words, he said, you're one of the best trainers in the country. There's no reason, I have the utmost confidence that you'll be able to do this. You've done it in everything else. So I was just like, all right, cool. We hit each other. I seen him the next day. I said, I'm in. But ABC, I'm not playing. You're going to have your tail here. You're going to have your tail on time. You're going to work your tail out. The moment you don't, I'm done. I don't have time to be playing. But then the funny part is he would test me. You know, like we started off working out at 11 o'clock. He would come in at 11:15, you know me, 11:20. Bro, what is wrong with you? Then one time I actually cussed at him. It's like, bro, what the? Like, I'm not playing with Coach. I got you. But I stayed on him, and all of a sudden he started showing up on time. You know what I mean? And I started seeing his drive. You know, he was hungry. You know, he wanted some respect. He wanted somebody to have his back. He wanted somebody that believed in him. And we started growing. We grew together. Him as a boxer, and I'm a trainer. We're growing together. He's 5'6", 5'7". I'm 6'8". So automatically, it's the weirdest thing when people see it, because they're like, bro, this don't look right. But there's also a part of it that's kind of like spooky to a lot of people, because here I am, this big, huge 6'8" monster, and he's this little short, packed, action figure looking guy. And when you see us, and he stands in front of me and you stand behind me, it's a different look, you know what I mean? Like, it really looks like, you know, two lions that are just like, yeah, we here. You know, we fought, been building ever since. He convinced me to create a promotional company and him be the front guy. And now, not only do I have a promotional company, now I have other boxers. And it's all because I believed in him. But because of that belief comes responsibility. You can't have him without me, and I can't have me without him when it comes to this boxing story. And the more it builds, he will always be tied to me, and I will always be tied to him, no matter what. Nobody will never be able to separate us. We will go down in history as, you know, gentlemen who beat Muhammad Ali's grandson. And we did it with each other. It wasn't him, it wasn't me, it was both of us.
When I became a dad, I really changed. I was never scared of fatherhood. I can't have a kid out there that I can't take care of, man, that I can't be a father to. I can't. As soon as I seen him, I knew, bro. I knew. I was like, oh yeah, this is my boy. I could tell. Bro, that was crazy, yeah. Now, I'm not working for me. I'm not doing it for me, you know? I'm not doing anything for me now. I'm doing it for him, you know? And when that happened, everything changed.
Twinkle, little star, I wonder how you are. Up above my world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder how you are.
For me and Slink, man, the goal, foundation, legacy. So he can build a legacy for himself so he can take care of his son. That's the most thing I focus on with him all the time. I'll be honest with you, I don't care about him like that. I love him, but I don't care about him. I care about his future with his son, to give him a vision of what his son can see and say, I want to be like my dad.
I want him to know that his dad loves him, man. His dad loves him, man, and his dad, all this, and I want to thank him.
So I want to thank you. Say, hey, son, you know, thank you, bro. You changed my life. You know what I mean? You changed my life in order to make your life. You know what I mean? That's what I'll say. I would literally just say thank you. Yeah. That's it.
Money on your mind, money on your mind. I know there is money all the time. Money on your mind, I know there is. Meet me on the other side. Spirits clash as we collide. Live for money, then we die. We can't take it when we die. We're all living for the high. They jealous and these niggas lie. They want a nigga in his prime. Betray you when you close your eyes. I'm just searching something real. Know it's real by how it feel. Let the Remy take the wheel.